Hey everybody, I am here with Miss Julie Michaels. You might remember her from Roadhouse, the character Denise, or the bad guy's Mal.
Or otherwise known as the body.
That too, and as you can see, she's very much the body, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into your amazing career and what you've got going on now, I have some real basic questions that the fans have been asking. How exactly did you come to work on Roadhouse? How did you end up there?
I had just moved to Los Angeles about 2 weeks prior, and I went to go see an agency with a friend of mine, and my friend went in to meet with the agent. I was sitting in the lobby. It sounds like a Hollywood story, but it really is the truth. The agent came out, took one look at me, and he goes, "You, come here," and walked me into his office, and he goes, "I have an audition for you today." I didn't even say I was an actor. I just happened to be there with my friend. And I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yes, go here, dress like this." And I was like, "Sure." And I don't know, 6 auditions later, I found myself on the set of Octoberfest.
That's amazing. And I mean, you want to talk about a true Hollywood story that people don't believe really ever happens? That's, and I never knew that. That's an amazing story.
And it's interesting now because I discover people, and I do it because that's how I was discovered. And so I'll come up to somebody and go, "You've got a really great look. Are you interested in being an actor?" And it's because of that.
Wow. That's crazy. I never knew that. I figured you'd been an actor for a while because by the time I saw you on set, you were so professional and polished. It was like, you've just been there forever.
I felt very comfortable. I'm sure you did too.
I did.
It became a family really quick.
It really did.
Everybody helped everybody else. I had never really been on a set like that. I think I'd done a few little things before, but I never felt scared. I never felt worried. It just was fun.
And there were so many, the greatest thing was it was obviously mostly male cast, but everybody was so sweet and such a perfect gentleman. And there were so many scenes where like beer bottles are flying and chairs are flying. And there were obviously some scenes where we ended up in our lingerie or bikinis or sometimes less than that. But everybody, I can't say enough, was just such a gentleman and such a sweetheart on that film. I mean, even with all the stunts, they're like, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're fine? Like, that chair didn't hit a piece of glass. Are you okay?" I mean, it was just such a great group of people, and I couldn't be more lucky, I mean, to be on that film. As a first big film, that was my first big film too. It was like such a wonderful experience. Really can't top that.
I agree.
So after Roadhouse, I mean, obviously that changed your career. Did things just skyrocket after that?
Right after that, I got a phone call to come in and read for a film called Point Break.
Point Break.
So I ended up getting that role, and then I got a phone call from 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 and Glenn Wilder. He was the stunt coordinator on the show, and said we wanted to switch roles. And I said, "Oh, okay, what role do you want me to play now?" And they said, "Well, it's the girl in the house that beats up Keanu Reeves." I said, "Wait a minute, no, she's completely naked. No, I don't want to do that." And they were like, "We can't get a stunt girl to double the actress, and we know you're a martial artist, and we really need to do this." I was like, "No, I don't want to do that." And they're like, "It will be the scene that people remember from this movie."
Wow. Which it is.
So I got, I think New York Times called me the nude babe who nuked Keanu Reeves. So maybe they were right.
And that must have led to your continuing career as a stunt woman and now a stunt coordinator, if I'm not mistaken.
That's exactly right. I met my husband, 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿, not long after that, and he opened me up to a whole new world. I always found myself hanging with the stunt performers. It's more of a team thing. I was a gymnast in college and really understood and felt that camaraderie. I also did a lot of horseback work and a lot of driving, and it kind of just felt really natural to go in. And he began to train me, and then came up Friday the 13th, 𝐦𝐨𝐬 Goes to Hell. And they needed somebody who could play this part but also do a high fall. So he took me out, taught me high fall, and I was like, "That's the funnest thing I've ever done."
You're like, "Wait, this is work? This is amazing."
I paid for this. It was so much fun. So I started to do more acting that had stunts involved in it. And as I got a little farther along, he said, "You'd make a really good stunt coordinator." And I was like, do I look like a stunt coordinator? Do you think I'm going to walk on set, somebody's going to go, "Okay, I trust her"? He's like, "It's your head that they'll understand." And so for the last 25 years, I've trained with him, and I have a Emmy nomination and a SAG-AFTRA nomination. And currently we do How to Get Away with Murder, Jane the Virgin, and SEAL Team CBS Wednesday nights.
Which is amazing because, as most people may or may not know, I mean, stunt coordinators are, it's pretty much a male-dominated field. There aren't that many female stunt coordinators on major shows and major films.
Especially a show like SEAL Team, where we hire 900 spots a year. 900. And that means a lot of work, and it's pretty impossible to do a one-person job. And this show luckily hires both of us at the same time, and we need it.
Wow. We were just chit-chatting before we started interviewing. Do you have any funny or fond memories from the set? Anything people might not know about the movie? Just little tidbits and funny things that happened?
I don't know so much funny, but I remember sitting on the back of a pickup truck with Sam Elliott a lot, and just talking about life, and he just being the kindest man on the planet. I saw him recently at the Emmys, and he still has that very warm, loving personality, and it always makes you feel comfortable. And then when I got ready to do the striptease, Patrick's wife Lisa was there, and she could see I was a little nervous. And she said, "You know what? You have to forget who you are. You are this character, and this is a chance of a lifetime for you." And I had been rehearsing, and I remember thinking, you know what? She knows. She's a dancer and an actress, and she knows. And she really did a lot for my confidence. So so that was the fun.
That's amazing. What is the reaction now for people who perhaps know you as a stunt coordinator but don't know that you were an actress early on in Roadhouse? What is your reaction when people find out you're in Roadhouse? When they're like, wait, you were in Roadhouse?
It's funny.
What is the reaction?
It's really funny. Some of our TAs on our show on SEAL Team will actually write a line of Roadhouse in there or something from Point Break. I'm like, are you doing that just to jab me? I mean, it's really fun. But it's definitely one of those, what? Say that again? So they skip a beat.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, obviously, all these years, I mean, the rentals, the showings, I mean, every 5 minutes, I swear, I turn on Amazon Prime and it's like Roadhouse pops up. What do you think has made Roadhouse just become such a cult classic and have such a lasting, all these years and all the films that have come out since, Roadhouse really has captured people's sort of hearts and fascination. What do you think it is about the film that's made it sort of last, that we're even here today, 30 years later?
I love that you asked that question. I think it really resonates with the old Westerns. The good guy, the bad guy, the women that are in between it, and just a real classic essence of what a Western is. It's just revolved around a bar and cars more than horses, but it still has that same feeling. You know, when you cheer for the good guy and you boo for the bad guy, and I'm surprised that people aren't in there right now with a black hat or a white hat.
Right.
But we all thought we were doing something kind of fun, but we had no idea how well it would do. Tim Moore just told me today, one of our producers, that it's the #1 most watched movie on television.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's got to be. Every time residual checks roll in, I'm still amazed. I'm like, right? But after all these years, I mean, that's the one film that really just has had this life of its own. And really, as we got towards the 30th anniversary, almost like a resurgence and interest in the film that we're here today.
Think about it. There's at least 2 generations that are just now discovering
the film.
And I don't think my kids really get it yet, which is kind of okay. But it is pretty funny that I get 17-year-old guys that are like still writing me. I get tons of fan mail consistently. I'm 18. I live in Kansas City, and I love Roadhouse. And could I please have an autograph? And I'm thinking, my gosh, you're 17.
Right, and you're like doing the math. Like, not even okay.
That's not how old I was when I did Roadhouse.
Right? I know. Wow. It really just, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was just such a great, it almost feels like, I don't want to say like a college experience, but it felt to me, as you said too, it's like we all ended up being a quick family, and it was just the most fun going to work every day, but it wasn't a grind. Everybody was so wonderful. The nod to the old Westerns, the first time I saw Sam Elliott ever, I was standing out back smoking a cigarette we were at the Disney Ranch, standing outside smoking a cigarette, and up pulls this, flying down the driveway, this Mercedes, slams on the brakes, dust cloud comes up, almost like riding a horse to the stop. Sam gets out, pulls the hair back, zips his sunglasses off, he's like, "Morning, ma'am. Could you tell me where?" And I don't remember what it was he was looking for, production or makeup. And we just had a brief chit chat, but it was, in my mind, it was like he had just rode up on a horse, got off, tipped his hat, and just such a cool dude.
Yeah,
like
he's got cool. Look in the dictionary to cool.
That's
It'll
it.
be him.
It's just cool defined for Sam Elliott.
Exactly.
And every role I see him in, I'm like, no, that's just Sam. Like, he's just such a genuinely cool dude.
Yeah, he is.
And that was the thing that people always ask, Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliott. And I'm like, you couldn't have asked for two genuine, giving, cool actors. 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in makeup, like bringing you coffee. It was just such a wonderful experience. Being young, I'm sure you can attest to, and like really being the first big film, to have that kind of like as your benchmark is like how things should be, was amazing.
Yep. Well said.
So for anybody out there, was going to ask you what you're doing now, but we know what you're doing now. Are there any personal appearances, anything else coming up that people might want to see you on or check you out at?
Nope. Right now we're solid with those 3 shows. SEAL Team keeps us busy. We've been climbing cliffs and mountains for this last week, shooting our 21st episode of the season with some major helicopter gags and some horse work and some really handsome dudes doing it all.
Well, that's awesome. Not a bad day to go to work, right?
Not a bad day.
Awesome. Well, Julie, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It was so wonderful to see you again.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, darling. Thanks, everybody.